Okay, I'll bring this meeting to order. We'll begin the meeting of the Governing Board of Library Trustees, Dixon Public Library. Do we have any comments about closed session? Seeing none, we'll adjourn to closed session. And justice for all. Roll call. Everyone is present. Public comment. Persons wishing to speak to an agenda item may raise their hand during public comment. The library board president will recognize you for the discussion at the appropriate time. Speakers will provide their name to the library board, after which the speaker will have 5 minutes to speak. Notice to public. Any member of the public wishing to address the governing board on a topic within the subject matter jurisdiction of the district, but not on the agenda, may do so during the public comment period identified in this agenda. By law, subjects not on the agenda cannot be acted upon by the board except to briefly respond, clarify, or refer to staff for review and presentation at a future meeting. Guests and presentations.
We have two guests with us tonight. Bonnie and Suzanne from Solano County Library are with us tonight and are here to address any questions, should the board have any, regarding the MOU.
Okay, thank you. Correspondence.
Yes, it gives me great pleasure to announce to the board that the Special District Risk Management Authority has bestowed upon the library the President's Special Acknowledgement Award, which is recognized for no paid claims during the prior 5 consecutive program years in the Workers' Compensation Program. A paid claim for the purposes of this recognition represents the first payment on an open claim during the same period. Congratulations on an excellent claims record. And this is the copy of a certificate that will be posted.
Great. Any board questions or comments on that?
You're gonna hang that up, you're gonna hammer it in, and that person's gonna hit
Their finger.
yeah.
What was that movie? They pull down the days without an injury. Any public questions or comments about the correspondence? Seeing none. Consent agenda. Do we have any board questions or comments on the consent agenda? Seeing none. Any public questions or comments on the consent agenda? Seeing none. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well. Motion carries. Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing regarding the Memorandum of Understanding between the Dixon Public Library and the Solano County Library.
We are currently holding a public hearing prior to the Memorandum of Understanding contract with Solano County Library being approved. This public hearing gives the public an opportunity to share their comments about the MOU and contract.
Okay, do we have any board questions or comments before we go to the public? Seeing none. Public comment regarding the MOU. Do we have any questions or comments? Come on up.
Just started reading today. So what has been the process there's no arrival yet at any on the process of the MOU yet?
What was the question?
Yeah, I don't understand the question.
The process, what has been the process been to arrive at the memorandum?
What's the process?
We had a draft from the county, which we had our own attorney review, and then made several changes that between both county council and our legal counsel were reviewed and approved by the board.
So it hasn't been approved as yet, not reviewed either. Is that
No,
correct?
It's not been approved by the board
It's
yet.
been reviewed several times.
Yeah,
But you've reviewed it.
Yeah.
Several times, yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Will the public be able to review it as well before it's approved, or?
This is your opportunity.
It won't be approved at this meeting. It'll be,
All right.
Right.
Okay,
No,
thanks.
No, it's
It's
on
on for
agenda
action
this
tonight.
meeting.
Yes.
Do you have a copy of it?
is there another one?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great.
Got it today, that's what's happening.
Okay. Any other public comments or questions? Come on up.
Joe Dingler. I have had a chance to review the MOU, and although it seems straightforward, not being a Philadelphia lawyer, I do have a couple of questions just to get your take on what it says. And it's my understanding that the employees of the DPL will remain essentially in situ, and their seniority and other benefits will remain intact going into the new Solano County Library employment. Is that your understanding of this as well?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you give us all your questions and then we'll...
That's it.
Oh, that's it.
That is my
Okay,
question.
so yes, my understanding, they stay employees of us until the memorandum goes into effect. If it passes, then they become employees of the district, subject to all the district's normal employment practices.
But all their positions remain intact?
Yes, they all have the right to take a position with the county.
Okay. Then the only real question is, if it is approved tonight, when does it actually go into effect?
January 1st.
It said by January 1st, so I didn't know if it would be sooner than that. But January 1st is the target date?
I'll be here till the end of December.
Okay. So that will be the transition point?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the plan, at least, unless
That-
there's some
that's what
issue
we
with the
hope.
county. Yeah. So,
And
Thank
there's
you.
something else.
thank you for your questions.
Hey, so Luke, it's been brought to my attention that this is a public hearing, but there's nothing that says that it's an action item.
It's a separate item on the agenda as item 13 under action items, memorandum
Okay,
of
down.
understanding.
Okay,
Okay,
sorry.
thank you.
Yeah.
We just
No,
wanted
that's
to make
okay.
sure.
Yeah, sorry.
So the public hearing, yeah, is separate from the
Yeah,
action.
my apologies.
Okay, any other public questions or comments?
I know, right after you.
Okay, seeing none, we'll come back to the board. Are there any other board questions or comments? Okay, seeing none then. Okay, let's move on to information items.
Got to close the hearing.
Oh, let's close the public hearing, thank you. Okay, information items.
You asked for a report on the summer reading program, what we did last year and what we did this year. The activities and the teen incentives, they were slightly different. Where we had light things, it was Legoland tickets, picture book, Play-Doh, the growth chart in early literacy. The school age incentives were, they had the round table pizza certificate and the Legoland tickets. But the shows were different. So whereas we had a Python Ron Animal show prior year, this year we had the Magical Nathan, we had Wild Things Animal Show, Uncle Jer's Berry Bee Show, the Cowgirl Karen Quest, Extreme Outer Space, and My Mother the Astronaut, the Bay Area Bike Repair, and we had a final party that we didn't have last year. But if you look at the total numbers, the difference really in the program was 1,300 last year and 1,008 this year. So it was down, and different activities, different summer events were what was shared by both the program coordinators.
Were things advertised the same way?
Yes.
So
However,
maybe they liked last year's program better.
I
That-
think they did.
The Giants tickets were
Yes.
last year, though, so parents might have been encouraged to bring their
Yes.
kids to try to get Giants tickets.
And we did not have giant tickets this year.
Okay. Any ideas from any of the staff on what to do to try to increase participation next summer?
Yes, we're going to go out more to several of the preschools and the daycare centers so that we can see if we can't get that group going. And then once we hire, I'm sure once we hire a new youth librarian who's going to be responsible for the youth activities, encourage them to go to the middle school and high school to see if we can't get that group into the library and to the reading program.
Did we have any kind of system set up to encourage coming to more of those events, like?
Every week, there's a different incentive. There's weekly incentives for the group.
Anything that grows like their chances of winning something at the end of the summer or anything like that?
Yes, that's what we have at the end of the summer program. We had several large prizes that they could all participate and have an opportunity to win.
Any other board questions or comments?
I remember maybe a year ago or whatever, we talked about when the kids get their school IDs, we would like set them up with a library card like automatically. You remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was, the county was looking at a program to do that, so that might be something that Bonnie can tell us a little bit about.
Come on up.
Sorry, Bonnie.
This status of that. I know that was in a trial situation,
Because
wasn't
that
it?
was a really, I mean, that was a good idea.
Bonnie Katz, Director of Library Services, Solano County. We did institute a trial called a student access card, where your student ID then became a library card different from your regular public library card. We started a pilot program, like I said, with the Fairfield-Sassoon. We actually rolled out the program to the entire Fairfield-Sassoon School District this year. 22,000 students have a student access card. How is that different from the public library card? It's, like I said, one, it's tied to their school ID number, which you get when you're a kindergarten person and goes through 12th grade. You can check out 3 books, okay? They're books. So when I say books, I don't mean AV or DVDs, they're books. No fines, and it's really to encourage students to use the library. Now, we have 6 school districts within Solano County. We will be rolling it out to the rest, so that eventually, and we're hoping within the next 2 years, I know that sounds like a long time, but it really is a lot of work on the back end, that we will have the student access card to every student within Solano County's service area. And you say, well, what about Benicia? Well, Benicia already rolled theirs out, so they're already done. Okay.
Great. Any questions?
Have you noticed any sort of increase in like circulation or numbers or anything like that because of that?
I don't know, do you know?
I know it's kind of hard to track that, but I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Gosh.
Susanna Losky, Assistant Director, Solano County Library. I don't have exact figures in front of me. So we just, as Bonnie said, we rolled out the whole school district this year. So we haven't been tracking that. We have analytics and the statistics that we have in our database, but we haven't extracted those out as the school year just started. But we usually run month-by-month reports, so we can look at what happened last year to the month this year. So, so we will be looking at that, but with 22,000
I know, it's a lot.
students
Yeah, I'm sorry.
having access, we expect those numbers to go up
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's more for, just, you want exposure to the library and stuff, so.
So much easier for them to just come in and already have the card, not have to worry about filling anything out to get one, yeah,
Right.
so hopefully.
But you said, excuse me, you said that it was tied to their ID, and it was like a library card, but it wasn't a library card.
It's not a full access library card. So if you come into the public library and you sign up as a child for a library card, then you can take any of the materials that we have within the library out. So if you want a DVD, or you want a CD or something, okay, this is specifically tied to our book collection. They can take out 3 books. Okay, but one of the nice things is, one, you don't really need a parent signature where you need a parent signature on a regular library card. They are different. You can have both.
Right.
You can have a public library card, and then you could have your school access library card. It was more a way of making sure that fines or not being able to get a parent in because they're commuters, they're working, they can't get in, that children have access to the public library.
Great, thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
other board questions? Any public questions or comments? No? Okay. All right, discussion items.
Okay, at this time, I recommend the board review the quotes received for painting, carpet, flooring, and shelving of the library. We have from Ross McDonald, quote for shelving in the audiovisual area and in the children's section with the quotes here, and also with the diagrams of what that would look like. It doesn't really change anything as far as the shelving placement, but it will bring down the shelving in the children's area so that they're not so high up where kids can't reach them. And then the audio-visual, or where we have the DVDs, will be DVD-specific shelving rather than the bookshelves that are there currently. On the House of Floors, we have an estimate from them, and today I received an estimate from Glines Carpet One. So we have two different estimates to look at the House of Floors. Looking at the carpet alone, the amount is close to $24,000, House of Floors, and I'll pass this out and you can look at it.
This is the one you just got today?
I just got it today. So if you can pass it down and share, that indicates the carpet is $20,000, so this is a lower bid than what we received from House of Floors.
So the House of Floors estimate, is that just for the carpet, not the
No.
tile?
No, the carpet alone is $24,341.70, and the tile, should we go with tile, is $9,222. So it's two separate amounts. On the carpet, if they did the tile, it's $16,329, but the carpet is $20,162. So two different prices for two different aspects of the flooring. We're going to have two companies come in next week, and they're going to look at removing the tile and fixing the concrete so that they perhaps buffing it and then putting an epoxy so that there's nothing on the concrete flooring other than the concrete and the epoxy.
Are you talking about in the offices area? Or-
Wherever the tile is.
Okay, and that's linoleum tile then?
That linoleum tile that's there right now. And I contacted 3 painting companies. I have one bid. One company changed their date. They had 2 dates to come and provide a quote to us, and they failed to come to the library twice. So I don't believe they're going to be giving us a bid.
And we may not want them
Yeah.
anyways.
They don't show up for giving a bid, yeah.
So are there any questions from the board about the process that we're using? I'll be looking at the calendar, trying as much as possible to keep the library open while these different projects are going on. My first thought is to first get the library painted, then get carpet installed, and then the shelving.
So since we passed that down, just go over again. So the House of Floors bid is $36,930.47.
Okay. Splitting it up, looking at the tile itself is $9,222. Looking at the carpet, it comes to $24,341.70. I asked for 2 separate amounts, but they didn't subtotal it. And at carpet 1, if they were to do vinyl, it's $16,329, and the carpet is $20,162. That includes every, installation, whatever else you need to install.
So is it normal to get bids for something like a library from a place called like House of Floors? I mean, nothing personal, but I'm wondering if that's, maybe Bonnie can answer that. Like, is that normal? Or do we have or is there somebody that does that especially for, libraries and schools and stuff like that?
So within the county of Solano, we have a purchasing department with rules and regulations. To answer your question, it depends on how high the bid is and what your purchasing, if you have them, policies state in terms of, like, getting 3 bids, which is what you're talking about. It doesn't matter which vendors, but getting 3 bids, or if it's over some sort of threshold amount, then you either have to do a request for proposal or a request for qualifications, and then get bids. With these projects that you're talking about, with the carpet and the flooring, you're underneath that
Yeah,
threshold.
They're small projects.
Yeah, they are small projects. And just while I'm up here, so I don't keep getting back up, the shelving person, which is Ross McDonald, which is somebody that we recommended, because that's a shelver that we use, is a CMAS contractor. So they have already been vetted. They have already gone through the public contract procedure. So using a CMAS contractor,
It's
no matter, no matter what public entity you are.
Saves you money. 'Cause there's no
Exactly.
change orders or anything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie. So how many vendors did you try to solicit bids for the carpeting?
3.
Okay, and we got 2.
And it sounds like, if I'm reading this correctly, that it's not the same, the products are different.
Yes.
And why is that?
They brought different, they used different companies to order their carpets.
Uh-huh.
Both of them, excuse me, both of them are squares or long, narrow tiles. That, I guess, is the new thing that they're using in public buildings instead of the squares.
Yes,
I was told today that that's old school now,
yeah,
and they're using more of a long,
yeah, there's like 6 inches by, 4
yes,
feet.
by
or-
like
yeah,
3 feet.
3 feet. Because I'm looking here, and both of them, even though they're using different kinds of products, are using, Shaw is a name that's common, Tarkett. All of these are good,
They're commercial.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess what I'm asking is, since they're different, which would we prefer? I mean, even though they're relatively close in price, within a few $100s, which is better if they're a little different?
If there's a quality difference,
Yeah.
which is,
They both have 10-year warranties on them. That's, I guess, the norm. I've enjoyed dealing with the contractor for today's bid.
Which was the carpet
Klein's
one?
Carpet one. He's been more flexible, has, come out more than once to the library to show us the different products. We give him an idea, and then he's come forward and done that quite a bit.
And the samples that we saw, Catlin and I were able to go into the library to see some samples. Are those samples from the bid from today?
Yes.
Okay.
and the staff had input on what they.
Staff has had input throughout the process.
Any other questions?
So what I hope to do is have some kind of schedule before the next board meeting and let you know the phases of the projects.
Yeah, I noticed that this House of Floors estimate says does not include moving furniture, bookshelves, et
None of
cetera.
them.
So I guess that would be, I want to hear, how are we going to do that? You know,
We have to move all the books, we have to box them. We're gonna have to coordinate as much as possible to try to, okay, once the carpet's in, see if we can't get the shelving in within the same time frame so that it's usable. But I don't know that they'll be that demanding, but we'll have them in boxes ready for if anyone wants to check out the books that we do take off shelves. It'll be
it's
interesting.
going to be a challenge.
Yes.
Yeah,
It will
for
be.
sure.
Like remodeling a house.
Yes.
Yes.
But everyone will appreciate it once it's
Once it's done.
Okay. Any other board questions or comments? Any public questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, okay. 12, conference first reading, it looks like there's nothing there. Okay. Action items, 13, memorandum of understanding between the Dixon Public Library and Solano County Library. Any board questions or comments?
Actually, I did think of a question. With the county and how many libraries that they run, do they have access to Granicus for their board meetings? Okay, so is that something that we would be able to access with the county, with you guys helping with our board meetings? Okay, but whoever would be presenting the board meeting from the county, they would be the ones responsible for putting the agenda together? Would that be?
So to answer your question, which is probably not the answer you want to hear, I have internal clerical staff that prepares agendas for all my boards and commissions. We do not use that system, but everything is electronic, everything is on the website. Minutes are posted, so we follow the Brown Act.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if that's what you want to know, and that's actually written
No.
in
I
to
think she's
the-
asking more about the more convenience for us, that we get it on the, electronically instead of have to.
No, you will get it electronically. It's posted electronically.
It's just not through
It's not on
Granicus.
Granicus, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah,
You
Granicus
probably
is.
have to pay a fee for Granicus anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
Even if it was, yeah.
I mean, if you go on our website right now, currently, and look at boards and commissions, you will see, like the Solano County Library Advisory Council, you'll see an agenda, you'll see the minutes. So it's electronically, it's there.
Is it PDF?
Yeah, I believe it is.
So it's not like Granicus where you like click on something and it like shows you all the supporting documentation or anything like that, right?
Well, you can get, we do it by, all the supporting documentation is
Is
there
there, yeah.
as a board packet. Very similar to what you're doing now. It may not be the same system, but you're still going to get the same information,
Yeah.
if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Any board or any public questions or comments? Come on up.
Perhaps a silly and incidental question, but it's to the director of Solano County.
Well, ask us. and then-
Will you be able to maintain the Dixon Public Library telephone number?
You're gonna ask us
Let's-
that
Yeah,
question.
ask us and
Yeah.
then,
Well, can you ask her?
yeah.
I was just trying to be
I
polite.
know,
and
that's-
face
yeah,
her,
yeah.
But that's the question.
Yeah.
Will the county be able to maintain that? That's a long and well-known number in Dixon.
Yeah.
And I, for one, would like to see it maintained, if possible.
As I understand, because I think we discussed this before, and Bonnie can correct me if I'm wrong, that although there will be new phone service and stuff, those people that have the old number will still be able to call in on the old number. Is that correct? Yeah, and it takes some of the burden off the people working at the local library. You're gonna get your steps in.
You are.
So what it does with having a telephone assistance center, and that's built into the contract, I want to renew an item. It doesn't matter who you are or where it is. Anybody can renew an item because it's all part of the same database. So it does free up staff that, they won't have to take some phone calls, like, how late is the library open? Where is it located? So things like that come through. Now, if it is specific that says, I want to book a meeting room in Dixon, I want to know what Dixon's doing and such, then those calls by our call center are given to the branch.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing as the question
about
is
the
that
telephone
number's
number.
not gonna go away. It'll
No, and
still be there.
It'll be the same as Rio Vista. Rio Vista has their own special number, but they also have an 800 number.
Yeah.
So there's a way to roll it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
Okay.
great,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, any other public questions or comments? No? Okay, this is an action item. Do I have a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Dixon Public Library and Solano County Library?
I'll move approval.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
An aye as well. Motion passes. And that is all we have for tonight. So with that, I'm going to adjourn this meeting. Thank you for coming, folks.